In fiscal year 2021, through the Substance Abuse Prevention and Treatment Block Grant Program COVID-19 Supplemental Awards, the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, Ohio University's Voinovich School of Leadership and Public Service, and the Pacific Institute for Research and Evaluation came together to provide support to 5 urban behavioral health boards in Ohio as they engaged in community-based processes to address the impact of social determinants of health when planning for substance use disorder prevention and mental health promotion services and programming. This Community Collective Impact Model for Change 2.0, addressing social determinants of health in minority and underserved communities, was unique because the urban behavioral health boards received phased funding. Project directors began Phase 1 by working to bring together people and groups who had lived experience with health disparities and social determinants of health. Collaboratively and iteratively, community work groups created a data-driven impact statement in Phase 2. From this impact statement, work groups then created 3-year prevention services plans, detailing the goals, objectives, and action steps to be taken to address a specific social determinant of health within an identified priority population as the final initiative phase. The series of videos that follow were created by the communities for the communities and highlight the 3 phases of this initiative through photo voice, ethical photography for social change.
So the Montgomery County Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board, ADAMIS, has convened a fluid work group, the Health Equity Steering Committee, with the purpose of guiding strategic planning and priorities and work plans through a lens of diversity, equity, and inclusion. This group comes together to identify resources, provide a whole community perspective in facilitating building comprehensive strategic plans to address the various social determinants of health, from micro factors that are downstream moving towards midstream, all the way up to macro factors that are upstream level. These pieces of information are then utilized to inform planning and an equitable allocation of resources. This was done through our community conversations hosted by Dayton Food Bank and through training provided by ADAMIS in mental health first aid to the food bank staff.
So here at the food bank, we are the Food Bank Inc. and we are located in Montgomery County. We service 2.5 counties, Montgomery, Greene, and Preble counties of Ohio. But our base warehouse is located in the 45417 zip code. This is a zip code that has been historically marginalized and disinvested in for many years. And we chose purposely to build here because we wanted to create a space where we would be accessible to the community, and we just really chose to invest into this area where there had been so many years of disinvestment.
Food insecurity, really is just, to me, a lack of consistent food. I feel strongly about the word consistent in this just because it seems like, you can maybe get food one time, during a week, 1 week of the month, and then the rest of the month you're kind of struggling till, to get to the next month. So I feel like consistency is a big word in that. Obviously there's a lot of access as well, but I think lack of consistent food is a big deal there.
So it's important for people to come together to address food security for many reasons, because we can't do it by ourselves. One of our mottos here at the food bank is that we're not a food bank without our member agencies. So we can't solve everything by ourselves, and so we have 100+ member agencies throughout the community who are food pantries, homeless shelters, kids cafes, and that's one avenue of the path to solving hunger, right? So that's like the immediate need. We're getting our agencies the food that then people can get from them to get the food they need. But we're not the only people we are not going to be the people who solve hunger in Dayton. We're going to be part of it, and we need the community to do that. We need our neighbors who are in food insecurity to express what they need from us. We need people to volunteer, we need people to donate. We need organizations to help partner with us. And there's so many other issues that are tackled with hunger, racism, systemic racism, poverty, mental health issues. And there's already a lot of nonprofits doing that, and we can't solve any of those issues if we don't do it as a community.
The Self-Care Committee volunteered at the food bank to plant and serve flowers and other fruits and vegetables within the greenhouse space. They did this, 1, to share the knowledge about how to do these activities, and 2, to be able to enhance awareness of resources to providers that work in our community. Coming together and have a collective impact not only ensures that we are able to bring sustainable change into our community, but also impact intergenerational trauma.
Mahoning County SDoH Grant Impact Statement. As we address social determinants of health, Mahoning County recognizes the need in underserved communities to reduce stigmas surrounding availability and access to healthcare services, including mental health services, by providing resource fairs, trainings, and an anti-stigma campaign initiative. Take that step. We will help individuals in our underserved populations understand that resources are available and accessible, enhancing the upstream social environments in healthcare, education, and social services.
All right? We will help individuals in our underserved populations understand that resources are available. I am the Community Engagement and Outreach Coordinator for the Mahoning County Mental Health and Recovery Board. That is my title. I love doing this work because I just want to help people. We do this day in, day out, and you do it, right? To just help people and impact change. I'm a project director and goal extended of the Office of Authority Health for Youngstown City Health District. She is the other project director for this grant.
What happens is, like, when we are out at, we do a lot of resource fairs, community events to make sure that people understand what help is available. And so everywhere we've gone, every event that we've participated in, people come up to us and say, either I didn't know this was available, or they'll say, I really need this help. Thank you, for sharing these resources with us. Or we'll have to, make sure they know, okay, I know that there's help available, but you have to take that step, to access those resources.
This is our work group, okay? So we have Joseph Oka, Elizabeth, Jamil, they're from Youngstown City Health District. And I have to work with my partner, Mr. Bernie from SIR, the Community Initiative to Reduce Violence. Okay, this is our work group for our grant, and we've been working hard.
So, like, everywhere we went, and that's how we developed in our prevention services plan. That's how we developed, the Take That Step campaign, because our whole messaging is to the people that in our communities that we serve, and the individuals in the community, and it expands. It doesn't mean, I know our grant targeted underserved and minority populations, but at the same time, everybody can benefit taking that step. Everybody in whatever capacity you need help, it expands across all, racial backgrounds, cultural, financial backgrounds, doesn't matter. When people need help, they need help.
Two of the most important documents that exist in any county, and really not only just in the state of Ohio, but throughout this country, are the Community Health Assessment and the Community Health Improvement Plan. And in those, it's where it's your voice that tells us what's wrong and what's happening in the community. And what was clear is that the reason that we're having these disparities that exist when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to schools, when it comes to our community context, is because of the social determinants of health. The 5 spokes of a wheel that help a community thrive. And that is, when you have good schools, you have good jobs, you have that community context, a place that you can go and actually communicate with other people, that you have good neighborhoods and housing, and that you have good hospitals. And those 5 spokes are a necessity for a community to thrive.
I think for us in creating our impact statement, it was important for us to be inclusive, but also to address what we really needed to focus on. I want to share our impact statement with you because I think it speaks to where our community is going long term. Our focus is to create a community of practice by increasing the understanding of social determinants of health in relationship to mental health and substance use disorder, and to increase the local capacity to bring stability and more specific services to address health inequities among underserved and marginalized communities in Lorain County. That particular statement is almost like an umbrella to bring everybody up under us so that we can continue to do our work effectively together. So I think it's very important that an impact statement does that. And what we found in our community, it has done that for us. It took us a while to get to that point to develop an impact statement, but I think it's very critical for communities to do that.
The Social Determinants of Health Impact Statement clearly outlines the urgency of addressing these determinants and issues a call to action. It inspires community members to get involved and advocate for change. It also stresses the importance of partnership between community, organizations, healthcare providers, local government, and other stakeholders in tackling social determinants of health. This can engage collaboration and coordination among various entities.
Well, one of the ways that this community group got together was having this conference that we had in August.
During the summit, we had breakout sessions, and we were able to write out on these templates the work that each organizational partner at that table was doing and how that work overlapped. And we were able to start having great dialogue on how we can connect the different pieces and parts at different organizations in order to all be moving in the same direction to address the certain topic of social determinants of health, and really be able to figure out how we can work more collectively together and different organizations to be able to move the needle.
I think that there is power in numbers, and I feel like when we are trying to tackle a large issue such as social determinants of health, it's a systemic issue, and we know that there are power in numbers. We know that people want to have their voice heard, and that the more people involved in this effort, the more that the community can become aware of what it is that needs to be changed. Thank you.
So Hamilton County is a large community, it's very diverse. We are very research rich in terms of different things that fall under social determinants of health. We have a healthcare system that's huge, and a number of the hospitals are just world known. We have Fortune 500 companies that reflect economic stability. We have, a number of neighborhoods who have great parks. So we just have many resources here. Everyone doesn't have access to it. And because they don't have access to it, the outcomes for them are not as great.
Public health and law enforcement, all working together to connect the dots and advocate collectively.
We also feel like an impact statement gives us a greater, clearer sense of what we want to achieve. Our impact statement was around the generational impact of social determinants of health on Black and Latino males in our community. But some of our initial data says to us that we need to address the needs of Black and Latino males across the lifespan. We have, again, said we did this because we had some initial data from various needs assessments being conducted in our community, things that were not going well for males in the community, Black and Latino males, and hear from them, their voices.
Downtown Cincinnati, 13th and Walnut. I went to St. Francis School, and I've seen a lot of drug use, a lot of substance use, and so that just wanted me to just be better.
So we have in our community a number of coalitions for addressing various issues from suicide to the opioid epidemic.
The place that impacted me the most is downtown Main Street. My family were considered a bad group of people.
The place I would like to talk about today is the Center for Addiction Treatment, struggling with drug and alcohol addiction. Today, I'm a peer supporter there. I just recently got a promotion to case management outpatient services, and it helped me become a pillar in my community.
So, Sue, why do you think people in Hampton County feel it's important to address social determinants of health?
With health, we're not on a level playing field. There are people in this county who are really hurting, and they have food insecurity. They don't have access to health care like other people do. And we really need to work upstream, like we say a lot, with social determinants of health to make sure that they do have access, they do have their basic needs met, and that's very important.
Cuenta sus repeticiones y tiempo cuando corres. Está bien contar calorías, pero la mayoría no contamos nuestras bebidas. Hay poca información sobre cómo tomar decisiones informadas cuando eliges beber. Saber los tamaños estándar de las bebidas puede ayudar a reducir riesgos, pero pocos lo saben. Únete a Envision Partnerships para un curso virtual gratuito sobre cómo reducir riesgos y ganar hasta $125. Las pautas de consumo de alcohol de bajo riesgo pueden ser un gran paso hacia personas y comunidades más saludables. Regístrate hoy.
I'm Father Mike Puckey, a Butler County resident since 2005, a native Ohioan. During these years that I've been in Butler County, I've been there as pastor of St. Julie Villiard Parish. It's a very diverse group of people, diverse age-wise and language-wise and experience-wise and race-wise. Many of our parishioners are Spanish speakers who've been here for maybe some of them over 20 years. Folks who have, over these 20 plus years, made a real contribution to our Butler County community. And I've also, during my years working with them, become quite aware of the fact that many of them have experienced trauma. Folks that have been dealing with addictions, and particularly within the Hispanic community, my experience at least is that the principal substance that troubles our folks is alcohol. It's very typical of folks who are making this transition from one culture to another. So what I'd like to say is that I'm really thrilled that Governor DeWine on several occasions has talked about workforce development. And if it's true that we need more therapists, more counselors for the general population, it's even more true for folks who would be both language and culturally competent. So what is needed, I think, is a real effort to develop people and materials that are both linguistically and culturally competent. But if we find it difficult to find people who are linguistically competent, there's a lot that can be done for our workforce as it is today to help them become more culturally competent. Also, I'd like to see greater access for these folks, many of whom have lived here in Butler County and throughout the state of Ohio for 20 years or more, people who are part of the community as much as any of us, and especially because many of them have been working quite conscientiously on trying to normalize their legal status. Because we have so few culturally and linguistically competent folks that are able to work with our Hispanic population, I really want to emphasize as well the importance of prevention. So prevention in terms of alcohol abuse, but prevention in every sense of the word that we can certainly multiply our personnel. Because of that, I really would like to see a real effort to do some better recruitment of folks who are linguistically and culturally competent. That is the gold standard.
The work we've just seen was guided in part by the CDC resource titled Promoting Health Equity, a resource to help communities address social determinants of health, which describes how considering the impact of social determinants of health when planning for prevention services can improve health outcomes and promote health equity across the lifespan. Additionally, the Ohio University and PIRE teams provided training, technical assistance, professional development, and networking opportunities. The results represent a truly community-led initiative focused on actualizing the impact statements to work towards health equity in each community.